Howdy, y'all. How's it going? My name is Shane Bray, and I am the residential American comic for the night. And before you boo me off... Oh, wait, we did have another American. I forgot it did. I'm sorry. The second residential one. But, you know, you can't fuck with us, because if you don't laugh at our comedy, we'll fucking shoot you. That's right. Just kidding. We're not in a school zone. We're not in school. You're safe. It feels too real for the Americans. They remember in the classrooms in the corner like, don't shoot me. But yeah, love American words. I love American words like howdy and y'all. I love the word y'all. Because y'all is like the one American way to address a room without gendering anyone. Which is like, thank you, the Deep South. You know, I had no idea the land of the Confederacy and the people who don't understand abortion could be so progressive. You know? It's a work, bitch, work. But yeah, it's like the only two gifts we get from the conservatives are y'all and Brokeback Mountain. But something I learned recently from Brokeback Mountain is that rednecks and gay men, they have a lot in common. We both yell yeehaw when riding bareback, you know what I mean? A horse, a man's ass, giddy up, cowboy. But I learned recently that Brokeback was the name of that specific mountain. I just assumed that Brokeback was any place you blew your back out to gay sex. I've been calling it the Brokeback accessibility toilet for years now. But yeah, do we have gay people here? Are the gays here tonight? We have one from your whole set. But tell me, how was it coming out to your parents? Was that an ordeal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? Are they conservative or religious?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, both. See, I have a different thing. My parents are progressive and non-religious, so coming out to them was a little bit different. Because when I came out to my dad said, "You know what, Shane? You should get a job at a gay bar." I'm like, "Are you pimping me out right now? Like, is that what's happening? I don't want to call you Big Daddy, like, no." He's like, no, you'll make a lot of tips. And I'm like, oh, honey, I'm hoping to make only tips. High hopes. But then when I came out to my mom was so relieved. She said, oh, I always knew it. I always knew my son was a little light in the loafers. And I'm like, light in the loafers? Jesus Christ, could you just call me a faggot? Like, anything besides that. And then coming out to friends is always hard because I'm always making new friends and I always gotta come out to them. And it's hard because they always bully me. They bully me relentlessly. It's mainly because I'm just not nearly as gay as my friends are. They're like, who are you trying to fuck, huh? You're just like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. You're trying to solve a mystery or something on a dick. What are you doing? What's happening? What are you trying to do? But yeah, I grew up in America. I grew up doing a lot of American things. Like I was an altar boy, and I was also a Boy Scout. And if we know anything about those two facilities, we know that there's a lot to unpack there. But if I'm living my truth, if I'm being honest, I have to be honest, and I have to be true to you guys, and I have to say that I was never touched once. Never even glanced. Listen, alright. Here's the thing though, I understand the trauma of not being preyed upon by an older person, but what you need to understand is the trauma of being picked last. Okay? It sucked. Am I too much of a pick me kid? Is that why I do stand-up? Is that why I'm in front of you tonight? But it was no excuse, because I was at Boy Scout camp all the time, and we were constantly surrounded by rope. I was just like, anyone tying rope around my mouth? No one? No one wants to fuck me? Or laugh at the joke? It's fine. That's okay. That's alright, we're workshopping. But yeah, I've lived here for about 3 months now, and there is a lot of culture shock. There's a lot of things, got funny names for things. Like take your dollar store, for example. Like in America, we have, like these guys know, the Family Dollar, the Dollar General, the Dollar Tree, a couple of woos for those. But here you got places like Poundland, you got Pound Busters, I've even seen a Pound Town. So like as an American, I have no idea if I'm going to a gym or a brothel. Like, no idea. But you, SpongeBob Sweater, you can take me to Pound Town any day. And I hope at a discount. Thank you. But yeah, also like, sometimes I can't tell if I'm just dyslexic or it's just British. I had an aneurysm the other day trying to find Leicester Square. just because you put ice in the middle of the word does not make it cool, okay? And like I found out recently that I live in Southwark County. I thought I lived in Southwark, you know what I mean? Like, let's work, bitch. Yeah, another funny name, like I was at work the other day and someone fell and they got a huge gash over their eye. They were bleeding all over the place. And someone came up to me and they go, "Do you know the closest A&E?" And I'm like, "The A&E, what is that, a grocery store?" Like, what? These the Texans know what I'm talking about. It sounds like it's next to the HEB and the Piggly Wiggly. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was only for these guys. Only the Americans will laugh at that joke. But yeah, another thing, I don't understand how one goes to a British strip club and affordably makes it rain. Because if I'm throwing ones and twos, that just sounds like dodgeball with small metal discs, right? It feels like a carnival game, get as close to the titty as possible, you know what I mean? Let's remember, these are exotic dancers, not toll booths, all right? But I was complaining about this the other day and someone says, "Oh, you just gotta make that green, bro." And I'm like, "Green? You have no green in your currency at all." And I'm like, "No, the 5-pound note, mate." I'm like, "That's blue. That's just blue. It's got green undertones in it." I'm like, "No. You know, we got blue 5s, orange 10s, purple 20s, all feels like Monopoly money, and I'm not Mr. Monopoly at the strip club." And lastly here, my mom did come to visit me while I was here. She was here just last week, and I had a heart-to-heart with her, and I was honest, and I was like, "You know what, Mom, it's been hard for me because it's almost been a year since I've had sex." And she said, "Well, I'm glad you're not having any sex than random gay sex." And I was like, "Could you please just call me a faggot?" Like, anything besides that. Have a good night, everyone.